Every year, thousands of investors travel to Omaha for one reason: to hear directly from Warren Buffett and the management team at Berkshire Hathaway. This year, I'm going to be one of the many, and I'll reveal what I would ask Warren and the management team if I got the mic for the legendary Q&A section. Before I reveal what question I would ask, let's set the stage and preview what this year is going to be like at the Berkshire Hathaway annual meeting. There's a lot of really important headlines that I think are worth talking about in preparation for the meeting. One would be the historic pile of cash that Berkshire is sitting on currently. As of their latest 10K, which was filed at the end of the year of 2024, they revealed they have over $300 billion of cash, which are invested in government bonds and bills. As the market has declined in 2025, this has made Warren and the rest of the managers look really smart, as they're going to have prime opportunities to deploy that cash at better prices. Also in 2025, we have the backdrop of a global trade war. It started as US versus rest of the world, but it seems like the focus is narrowed to US versus mainly just China now. So we'll see if Warren and the managers have any commentary on the impacts to their business and if they're seeing any sort of spikes in anticipation of tariffs being added to goods and what we can expect from that going forward. And for those of you who have been to the meeting, you'll know that one of the fan favorites is the movie that they show before the meeting gets started. This is a 20 to 30 minute video that sets the tone for the day and kind of engages everyone in the arena. There's about 30 to 40,000 people in the arena in Omaha. And also, it's a way to say thank you to the managers of Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio companies. But this year, in the materials leading up to the meeting, they noted that they're going to start promptly at 8 a.m. Central, and there's going to be no movie this year. So I'm not sure what that's about, so we'll have to see what they decide to do. And it'll be replaced instead by Warren will just move up his opening remarks a little bit sooner than he normally does. And speaking of opening remarks, that's one of the main things I'm going to be watching for. Warren will usually take 15 to 30 minutes at the beginning of the meeting to give his perspective on a topic of his choice. One memorable one was when he went back and relived the bet he made with Ted Seides. It's a famous bet. He and Ted bet $1 million on who would perform better over the subsequent 10 years, a basket of hedge funds. In Ted's case, that was his bet. In Warren's case, he picked the S&P Index 500 fund. And we all remember how that turned out. But we'll see what he decides to talk about this year. It's always interesting to hear from Warren directly. The other thing I'm hoping that they'll address at some point is last fall there was a big sale of stock from Ajit Jain. Ajit is one of the leaders of Berkshire Hathaway, and he runs probably the largest division in that he runs insurance for Berkshire Hathaway. So a big deal. He's a very important person in the company. And if you've heard Warren talk before, you've probably also heard him compliment Ajit Jain on how amazing he is at running insurance companies. So Ajit, it was revealed in SEC filings that Ajit sold something like 200 shares of Class A stock. I'm not sure why he would have done this. It was very likely that he would have paid tens of millions of capital gains tax for that transaction. He could have just held the stock or borrowed against it if he needed funds for another project he was working on. Another thing that I'm going to be curious to watch for is how they respond to questions about energy use for artificial intelligence. AI has been a huge topic of conversation for the last couple of years, and Berkshire is going to be one of these companies that's going to be supplying power to the data centers that run this technology. So Greg Abel is Warren's successor. They revealed that over the past few years, and Greg's background is in the energy business for Berkshire, so he should have good perspective on this and what they're seeing in terms of actual demand versus maybe not real demand from just companies wanting to throw up data centers and make a quick buck. And finally, you may know the format is such that after Warren's opening remarks, there's a panel of Warren. It used to be Charlie, but now it's Ajit and Greg, and they'll take Q&A from a number of people. So there's a number of stations set up around the arena that you can literally get the mic and ask these guys a question, and it alternates between the audience and then Becky Quick of CNBC. And if I got the mic, I think what I would ask is Ajit about his stock sale. I'm really curious, and if it doesn't come up, I don't think I'd be able to help myself and see what he was thinking there, because to me it's a big deal. He actually, the remaining number of A shares that he had, he sold over half his position. So to me, that's a yellow flag for sure. But how would you approach asking this management team a question? Would you go for something like a softball? Last year, one of my favorite moments of the whole meeting was a little boy got the mic and he asked Warren, Warren, if you had one more day with Charlie, how would you spend it? I don't think there was a dry eye in the house. It was a really cool moment. Or would you go for something a little bit more pointed and, trying to get him to reveal something that maybe he hasn't before? One of the resources I'll link in the description of the video is a website that has compiled all the questions that Warren's answered over the years. There's almost 500 questions in there, and it covers like any topic that you can basically imagine. So before I did get the mic, I would want to go through there. So let me know if you're going to be at the meeting this year. Be happy to say hello if you are. Enjoy it, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.